In spring of 2013, the Wellin Museum mounted Dannielle Tegeder's first solo museum show. And as part of that, we also initiated our first commission of artwork that would become part of the permanent collection. And it was this large mobile made of glass and metal that acted as a center point for the exhibition. And we knew immediately that we wanted to find another location for this work of art so that even after the exhibition ended, it would find a new home and still be visible to the Hamilton community and visitors to the campus. Dannielle had created some small-scale mobiles before this exhibition, and I really wanted her to create something that would truly reflect the architecture of the space. So we had a fabricator work with Dannielle to design and realize a large-scale mobile which hangs from the ceiling. The structure is made out of metal and it has glass elements hanging off of it. And these glass elements really reflect a lot of the forms that you see in her drawing and painting. Dannielle Tegeder's work deals with the science of systems, so social systems in terms of how we interact with each other, urban systems such as subways, and molecular and scientific systems as well. So when we were looking for a space on campus to locate this mobile, it really made sense for it to be in the Science Center because that is really the central core of what the artist is addressing in her work.
I think it's interesting because much of her work seems to be really connected in similar ways to computer science because we often see things like if you want to connect interstate highways between cities and model how long it would take to go from one city to another, or if you were planning airline routes or any of these kinds of things where you're connecting things together. You could think about friends on Facebook, for instance. Those would be the vertices in computer science. And then the connections that are made, those would be called edges. And this is a mathematical model that we use that's called a graph. And so much of Tegeder's work, I think, is really closely related to computer science because it uses all the same kinds of underlying models. So she does things having to do with graphs. We do things having to do with graphs. It's just that we're doing computations based on those graphs, and she's using them to construct art.
So Hamilton College has been a wonderful place for providing these sorts of opportunities for cross-disciplinary work. And the Wellin Museum has become a model for that kind of effort. It's obviously a core part of their mission to reach out across the campus and engage as many of the people in the community here as they can. And they've been doing a splendid job of doing that, involving scientists and artists and musicians. And the Tegeder mobile that's been installed in the Science Center is a great example of that sort of cross-campus collaboration that makes Hamilton such a terrific place to work and study.
What I really like about Hamilton College is the fact that the disciplines really aren't separated. You can walk into any science classroom and see 3 or 4 English majors. You can walk into any English classroom and see 6 or 7 science majors. And I have a best friend who's a theater major and a physics minor, and there's really no 2 separate fields of study than those 2. And I think a great thing that Hamilton does is brings everybody together. And I think a great way we do this and demonstrate this is by bringing art into the Science Center.
What's exciting about the Wellin is that we're able to bring faculty and students and the community into the museum. So for Dannielle Tegeder's show in particular, we had 30 students from Hamilton and the Munson Williams Proctor Art Institute collaborate with the artist on a large-scale site-specific 80-foot wall drawing. We also had a student as part of the New York program intern with the artist, and we had another music student create a sound component for one of Dannielle Tegeder's pieces. So in addition to bringing people into the museum to have the opportunity to meet artists who are active today, we also wanted to take art out of the museum and have it be part of the broader Hamilton community. So it was a really exciting opportunity for us to do that. The cross-disciplinary approach that is inherent to Hamilton is also very ingrained in how we approach our exhibitions at the Wellin, from hosting courses from a range of subjects to actually developing exhibitions with faculty and with student involvement.